Hi there, Tim here. There's three things that I wanted to talk to you about this morning. The first one is how we might open up the church building for some limited use as the COVID restrictions start to be released. Second one is our plans to upgrade the AV system in church. And the third one is just talking a little bit about COVID-19 in a wider sense, and is it a reset for the way that we do church? So taking those in turn. First of all, opening up the building. So things are changing with the government response to COVID-19, and we want to take advantage of what we can do, but make sure that everyone can stay safe. We have produced a risk assessment for the use of the building, which will allow it to be used by small groups of up to 10 people at a time. This will need to be pre-booked, and organisers and attendees will need to abide by the rules that we've set for the use of the building, which is going to mean people signing in and out so we can monitor usage, and if we need to, comply with providing information about track and trace, and maintaining social distancing whilst people are inside the building and things like that. The kitchen and the toilets will be out of bounds because they're not spaces where we can maintain social distancing, but the disabled toilet and the baby changing facility will be able to remain open, so that if people need to use it while they're there, then that's the facility they'll be able to use. We won't be able to allow any singing or shouting or raised voices in church, as those things are not allowed under the regulations. But we will be able to meet, and people will be able to make use of the building if they want to, in small groups. So we're in the middle of setting up things like sanitizers and PPE stations and bins and things like that we need to do. So I hope that we'll be ready to allow this limited use of the church by the end of this coming week. The risk assessment will be on the website soon so that everyone can have a look at it, and all key holders will need to confirm they've read it and that they're going to comply with it. We've set it up so that people organising those small groups will have the responsibility to make sure that all of their attendees comply with the risk assessment and know what they need to do. We're not opening the church for services or private prayer at the moment because we need a lot more resources and people to manage that. And the fact that the church is opening doesn't mean that people who should be shielding or isolating should feel that they can come to church for a small meeting. They should continue to follow the government guidance where it applies to them. So if you want to make use of the church, then Julie or myself will be the people to speak to about that. And to keep everyone safe, I'm afraid we'll need to make sure that everybody follows the guidelines that we've set out in the risk assessment. We know that some people have been popping in and out of church, and that was probably fine as so few people were there, but we'll all need to follow the rules now as more people could be using the church. In terms of AV, we're planning to upgrade the sound system at church to a digital desk, which will allow us to both record and stream material better. Although we can't allow singing inside the church at the moment, we hope that we can move towards this in the future, and we'll be able to record small groups, meetings and teaching in church more effectively if we can improve the kit. The plan is to upgrade the sound system first, and then maybe add some cameras later to allow us to get a better and more flexible way to record the things that are happening in church, so we can stream them or let people see the videos that we've got. Final topic from me is COVID-19, a reset for the church. Well, it's a slightly scary thing in some ways, and we have to accept that restrictions might be with us for some time to come. So it probably does mean a longer term change in the way that we do things. We expect to have to improve our communications through digital channels and social media, and we want to upgrade our website so that it's more focused on being a hub, connecting our church family into everything to do with church and helping us stay connected. We may have used the website more of a shop window so far, like lots of churches and businesses have, but it probably needs to work harder for us now and fulfill a wider range of functions. So Ebby and I have already had a conversation about what we can do to achieve a shift in this, and I'll be talking to other trustees and other people involved in that shortly, and we'll try and develop a website that does more for us and is maybe more efficient. We should be able to use our building again in a limited way, as you know, but we may not be back to open and public services for some time. So we probably need a couple of things from you in that respect. First of all, we need a bit of feedback on what's working and what isn't. A lot of people have worked really hard to produce online services, and I'm sure that you found that some of those things you've liked and some of them haven't struck you perhaps as much. And that's fine, because it's always been like that in church anyway. We do different things. But we could do with some feedback now, and particularly where we might be missing something, or particularly missing people or losing contact, so that we can try and target resources at those people and reach out to them, even if they haven't got access to the web, for example. And we also need you to think about how you can engage with what needs to be done now. It might be that you used to do something in church that you can't do now, setting tables for sanctuary, or making sure the Bibles were out for a Sunday service, or greeting on the door, or making coffee, or whatever. But that doesn't mean that there isn't anything you can do now. So it'd be good to know if people think that they could do something else in the church family now, whether that's shopping for someone, or staying in touch with people by phone, or establishing a prayer triplet, or who knows, there's lots of things. We want to try and make sure that we get everyone involved in new church, because God still wants his church to grow and to disciple people through the work of the church. We just have to work out how to do it and the part that we can all play. So I hope that you'll let us know what you think you could do if you're not doing stuff already, and how you think you could be involved, and give us that feedback on what we're doing so far and what bits we might be missing. That's all from me. I'd like to wish you a really good Sunday, and God's blessing on all of you, and I hope to see you soon.